Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindful Moment. Yeah, that's what this is. I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I am what am I saying these days? I'm the spiritual leader, senior minister, spiritual director. I don't know. I'm the, I'm going to go with spiritual leader today. I'm the spiritual leader at Unity of Tucson, a spiritual center right here in the heart of the old Pueblo, Tucson, Arizona, where we join together for celebration and good and an acknowledgement that we are an infinite power and presence and light and life that is absolutely magnificent. Yes. And this is the mindful moment where I join you every single weekday at 8:30 a.m. live here on Facebook and on YouTube to affirm life's good, to engage in a little bit of discussion around spiritual ideas, and then collectively we can step into the practice of affirmative prayer together. Why do I do this? Well, a couple of reasons. Affirmative prayer is one of the primary tools we teach in this movement to enhance the quality of our lives. Why do I do this every single weekday? Well, part of that is to allow the practice of consistency. When I am consistent in my spiritual practice, that is supportive of the enhancement of the quality of my life. And so I share this with you, and I'm grateful that you are here with me. Now, whether you're watching live or on the replay, I would love for you to post a comment and let me know that you are here. Let's see who has joined us today. Sherry Hoffman, glorious day. Indeed, it is a glorious day. Laura offering a good morning to us all. Grateful to see you. Silvana, good morning, everyone. Grateful to see you here. William and Anita saying good morning from the Summers household. Delighted to have you here. Elise, what a delight to see you here this morning. And looking forward to having you join us in a few weeks. So excited to have you here at Unity of Tucson in a few weeks. Jerry, grateful to see you. Good morning. Grateful to have you here for a Monday morning mindful moment. Yes, good morning to you. Vera, good day to you. And Vera, we've already spent some time together today because we were on Mental Muscle together. Roberta, spirit abounds indeed. Yes, great seeing many of you in person yesterday. Facebook user, I'm not sure who this is. If you're on the Unity of Tucson Family Time group, you have to give that group permission to show your name. So I apologize that I don't know who this is, but I'm sure we saw you in person yesterday too. Audrey, morning to you. Denise, good morning all. Look at all these magnificent comments that are coming through. Such a delight. So I want to remind you, this is one of my favorite things to do, to remind you. Oh, Anna Mello. Yes, grateful. That's who Facebook user is. Grateful to see you. And Roberta, yes, yay for Elise. I want to remind you, here's what I remind you of. Every time I see you, I like to tell you this. You are love. You are light. You are life. You are magnificent. And I am so grateful that you shine your light and share your magnificence with all of us. Please keep doing that. Keep doing that. So, today it's an interesting day. It's an interesting day. The particular date is interesting for a lot of people. And I actually wasn't sure if I wanted to acknowledge this, but as I was thinking about this particular date, the 22nd anniversary of a rather traumatic event, I realized that there is actually something that I wanted to acknowledge about that, because here's first thing I want to say. We arrive at this date every year now, and for 22 years, this has been a practice in our society that we come to this date, September 11th, and we are fed, if you look at media, we are fed a constant stream of opportunities to be re-traumatized in that experience that unfolded on September 11th, 2001. And so today I want to say, it's easy to go into the trauma and to go into a trauma response. And I think that there's some other ways that we can look at this. And so, what I wanted to talk about today is what if we decide now that we don't need to be re traumatized, but we can allow ourselves to rise above what were the circumstances of that date into a different frame of mind? And so there's some things that I learned out of that experience on that date. First of all, I want you to know, like I don't often, I mean, I don't know how many of you know that I was not in New York, but I had literally only moved away from New York City 1 year prior. I moved away from New York City in 2000. So I was still very much rooted at that time in a very deep consciousness of being a New Yorker. And so there was and I had a lot of friends who were in New York. And so it's still to this day has a lot of like resonance for me. But what I've learned over these years is that it was an opportunity for me to rethink and repurpose my own mind into some new habits, into some new habits. That's the way I'm going to put it. New habits. Number one, the habit of being a helper. The habit of being a helper. One of the things that one of my favorite quotes in the world is a quote of Mr. Rogers, and he actually said this in relationship to that event. He said, "When I was a boy, and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'" And I think it's important to look for the helpers, absolutely. And one of the things that I think needs to be the next step of that is opening up to our own capacity to be the helper in any given situation. I think what he was calling for there is to say, there's going to be scary consciousness around this. Children especially are going to be frightened by what this event was, but they are going to be looking for the helpers if we invite them to look for the helpers. And that is a call to each and every one of us to be helpers, to be helpers. So that's number one of the lessons that I decided to embody from that experience. The other lesson that I decided to embody, and this is going to sound probably a little strange, but I decided to embody the practice of gratitude for every moment. And it doesn't take a traumatic event to embody the practice of gratitude. And if you are faced with a traumatic event, look for the gratitude. Look for the gratitude to reframe to reframe and shift in mind a path towards gratitude and also awe. That, as I looked around at the experience and the way our society, our culture, our community banded together. That was an awe and an awe-inspiring experience. And it's unfortunate that it took an event like that, because I think we can step back into that paradigm, especially when it seems like over the past generation, it's been a generation since that unfolded, that over the past generation, we've seen a dissolving of that kind of frame of mind of cooperation. And we seem to have moved back into the consciousness of competition. So I welcome gratitude in how I choose to experience all people in my lives. The other thing that came up for me is practicing prayer, praying for common good, allowing ourselves to pray for common good. That was a great lesson for me, that there was a lot of that going on. And I don't think we ever need to cease that practice. We don't need to stop the practice of praying for the common good. Ultimately, I think what all of this boils down to is being an individual who approaches and expresses and experiences life from the point of view of deliberate kindness. That's the message today. Deliberate kindness. Are we willing to go out and be the full expression of deliberate kindness? I think that's what I want to take into my practice of affirmative prayer today. And so if you are willing, if you are able, and it is a safe thing for you to do to close your eyes, to join me in this conscious awareness, I invite you to do so. Let's just take this opportunity to relax right where we are. In this state of relaxed awareness, I let go of anything that has preceded this moment. I let go of any anticipation for what is to unfold, and I allow a full awareness of being present as the presence right here, right now. I trust, I know, and I affirm a greater experiential awareness of this idea, this understanding that there is only one power and presence. There is only one light. There is only one love. There is only one forward moving principle of creation. There is creation itself, the activity of creation itself. There is an impressive impression of this spirit upon itself for the purposes of creation, for the outflow of the good. I choose to call this God. I choose to understand this as God. For there is no being out there. There is only the beingness of all that is. And I choose to understand the beingness. And I trust and know and choose to understand the beingness as each and every one of us, that this is our identity. We are, each and every one of us, an identifiable, inspired expression of the one. The wholeness of us is divine. The wholeness of us is light, life, love. And so, with this at the core of my understanding, I choose in this moment to allow an unfoldment in this path of life that is rooted in the practice of deliberate kindness. I choose to be deliberate in the expression of kindness. I choose to be a helper in any way that I can with all that I have right where I am. And it doesn't have to look like anything anyone else decides it should look like. It is a resonance in my own heart and soul, the manner in which I choose to be a helper. I choose to step into the practice, the affirmative practice of prayer, allowing myself to address that which is in mind, body, heart, soul from a positive perspective, and know that everything flows forth from that positive perspective. I choose this, and it is my decision. And I welcome the acceptance of the decision of every single person that I encounter in this frame of mind. And I do all of this with a grateful heart, to allow myself to live in gratitude and awe for all that is, and know that this gratitude is a feeling that wells up and overflows from within, and that gratitude is the fuel in this creative engine that says, yes, 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 it is done. Exactly as you have considered it in mind, it is so. And so I simply step out of the way, trust it is so, allow it to be so, and affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen. So it is. Always delighted to share this time with you, and look forward to seeing you again for the mindful moment. Please do share the prayer, share this video, like, subscribe, follow, all that jazz that we're always trying to get everybody to like and subscribe, follow all of our stuff. But I guarantee you, my plan is that if you like, subscribe, and follow, and you join me every single weekday, that it's going to be for our common good, because my approach is to express deliberate kindness. I do want to also remind you that we do have the World Day of Prayer, the Unity World Day of Prayer celebration here at Unity of Tucson. It begins Wednesday night. On Wednesday night, we will be live streaming the opening ceremonies at 5 p.m. here at Unity of Tucson. That will be a live stream event that you can come and enjoy as a community. We'll show it on a screen in our space. And then on Thursday morning, the 14th, at Um, I can't remember the time. It's all on the calendar. So if you go to unitytucson.com and go see the link in the calendar or scan the QR code, there's going to be a panel discussion on Thursday morning. Following that panel discussion will be several hours of quiet prayer vigil in our sanctuary. You are welcome to be participant in that. Come enjoy the quiet of the sanctuary, sit in silence and prayer during that time. And then at 5 p.m., there's going to be a closing concert that we will also live stream from Unity Village. That concert will be with Reverend Michael Gott and Karen Drucker, two luminaries in the New Thought world, and especially in New Thought music. So would love to see you there. There is no charge for this. Show up. There will be baskets if you want to make a donation. Always delighted to share what we have to offer here. So there we are. Also, all the other stuff that's happening, check out our website, unitytucson.com. And there it is. That's what I'm trying to put that up. I was multitasking. Go check out unitytucson.com for all the things that are happening here. And in the meantime, I will sign off by saying peace and blessings to you. I love you. You are magnificent. Keep shining your light, and I'll see you tomorrow. Be well, everyone.